Truck Talk Media.
C10 Talk, episode 262. Claudia, aka RST Girl. She's an influencer, she wrenches, and she's got a few trucks to work on. Here we go. Enjoy the pod.
I love my trucks to be manual. I don't know what it is. I think back from when I saw my mom, shifting gears.
Damn, girl.
Seeing is believing, and our title sponsor, United Pacific, makes seeing a whole lot easier. The crispness of the United Pacific LED headlights, taillights, marker lights, and more makes seeing and showing your truck that much better. It's time to upgrade your old dim halogens for new LED headlights, taillights, and more. They offer the brightest and latest LED technology. Headlights are available up to 1600 lumens, easy to install, and it fits right in the OEM housing. How about upgrading to sequential taillights? They're DOT approved and ready to ship today. And for you 73 to 80 GMC and Chevy square body guys, they've got the new front parking lights, LED with stainless steel bezel. Think UP Car Parts. That's upcarparts.com.
Let me tell you what Melbourne Toast is packing right here. All right, we've got 411 posi track out back, 750 double pumper, Edelbrock intakes, scored over 30, 11-1 pop-up pistons, turbojet, 390 horsepower. We're talking some bucking muscle.
What does that do? Did that blow your mind? That just happened.
Welcome to C10 Talk, your C10 truck podcast.
And now I have a chance to be the best, maybe the best in the world.
My old man, he's a television repairman. Ultimate set of tools. I can fix it.
I said I got 50 cents in that jukebox, and all I can hear is your mouth clapping. You hear that?
Here's your host, Ronnie Welch.
Here we go. What's up, C10 Nation? Episode 262 with RST Girl. She's a mover, she's a shaker, and she likes the manual trucks. So you guys will dig this one. I thought I would get it out earlier last week, and with Memorial Day and daughter's graduation and life stuff, it's been a little crazy. So I appreciate you standing by and your patience. Speaking of graduation, for all my South Carolina peeps, my North Carolina peeps, Coastal Carolina, Conway, South Carolina, she's headed out there. So you guys need to take good care of her out there. We'll be making some trips, so I'll be looking forward to hanging out with you guys in the Carolinas. I've already heard back from some of the peeps out there, and looking forward to it for sure. So Coastal Carolina, here we come. All right, so Father's Day is right around the corner. We will be having a Father's Day sale. We got to take care of the dads out there. So I'm not sure what the code will be just yet. Probably something real creative like Dad's Day 23. But I'll have a blowout sale. The new shirts, which is our C10 Talkin' Truckin' Tribute shirt, those are a water-based shirt. They're a super comfortable shirt. So those ones might not be on quite as big a sale, but everything else will be like big sale for you guys. Probably up to 50% off, maybe even more. So look for that one. We'll put some stuff out on social media as we get closer, but we will be having a big Dad's Day sale for sure. Speaking of Dad's Day sales, pretty much our sponsors, when you think about like our title UP Car Parts, they're having a big Dad's Day sale, so support them. You save money. You save 20%. AZ Pro, Dakota Digital, Brothers, Hawley, they're all having sales, so stay tuned to the socials. We'll try to repost everything we can. PSI, Painless, going through Marquet. Marquet's been having some big sales. It's a big deal because you're saving the money right now. And when you think about it, I just saw a post the other day. It was like Mother's Day is like the number 2 holiday, whereas Christmas is like number 1. And the comedian's like, so Jesus and Mom. Yeah, no doubt. Well, Dad's Day is like number 20. So we got to take care of the dads. We got to take care of you guys. It allows you to save some scratch. It allows you to get out there and wrench and get out there with the kids, or maybe a break from the kids, however you want to look at it. But Dad's Day, we will have a little sale going. One thing going on this weekend, Brothers Annual Show and Shine, 24th Annual. So they'll be out in Oak Canyon Park in Silverado, California, sold out. So hopefully everybody has a great weekend, great weather out there at Brothers 24th Annual Show and Shine. Get out there if you can as a spectator. Hopefully you got registered and you got one of those spots. But that's going to happen this weekend, June 11th, Oak Canyon RV. Brothers 24th Annual Show and Shine. All right, guys, enjoy the pod. Have a great weekend. Again, hopefully everybody had a great Memorial Day, and I appreciate your patience on this one. Have a great week, guys. Late.
All right. What is up, C10 Nation? How about a little RST girl? We've got Claudia. Claudia, welcome to C10 Talk, and we're going to share your story with the C10 Nation. I appreciate you taking time out of your day, and you are a truck girl, so I can't wait to find out what's going on with you. And obviously, you've got a new project on the horizon that you're working on. So thank you, Claudia. Thanks for taking time to be on the pod.
Yeah, thank you, Ronnie. Thank you for the invitation, and I look forward to talk about my build.
Yeah, you've got a lot going on. It is, I think the first time when I had messaged you, I was like, okay, the first time I would say I kind of ran into you was LST Vegas, and I think it might have been the first or second one they did. So probably 5 or 6 years ago, you were out there.
A couple years ago.
Yeah. What's your favorite? What you go all over the place? What's one of your favorite shows? Like if for the audience, like what's Claudia's can't miss show? Like I won't miss this show every year. I love going, and why?
I would have to say SEMA in Las Vegas, Nevada, just because the new products that come out, meeting new people and creating new relationships with people in the market, in the automotive market is my favorite.
Yeah, it's hard to beat that one. Not quite a full week, but when you think about it, because it starts on Tuesday, ends on Friday, but you're there so much that you're definitely putting in what feels like 5 to 6 days if you're there that long, and if you have the availability to be there that long.
Yeah, and then the first time I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, and I need to be there every day. And, you know, after being there for so many years, they're actually tuning my RST right now in the background. So excuse the dyno. But now I go just 2 days is enough.
Yeah, it is a lot. So you can get in.
Thing, yeah.
You can get in and see the people you need to see, and then kind of get out. It is a lot. People. Right. I think, like you said, you first few times you go, you're like, okay, 4 days, 5 days, whatever. And then you're like just wore out because it's so much. The people that work it, they're just exhausted by Friday.
It is. Yeah.
So you're in Gardenia right now. You're out of California. You're tuning your Cat Eye. You're getting it dynoed. How's that going?
Yay. It's going good. I'm actually very excited. It's, you know, I don't know if a lot of people know, but like I told you before, it's a 4.8. It's supercharged with a Maggie, and I just changed the fuel pump on Friday to a 340. It had a 255, which comes stock with the Magnuson kit. So now I turning it into full E85. So at 91, it made 412 right now. So it's looking good. Can't wait to see. I think I'm going to do 500 horsepower on full E85.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that you, or not necessarily you, but the RSTs only had the 4.8 with the stick. And I guess I just assumed they'd have like a 5.3 or a 6.0. But like you said, for the audience, they didn't want the RS truck to compete with the SS.
That's correct. Yeah, and they did make an RST automatic, but those come with a 5.3.
Yeah.
And then the stick shifts, they made them with a 4.8.
Yeah, I don't think I ever knew that. So either way, your Cat Eye Frisco is one sexy truck. I guess just to kind of go back, how did Claudia get into wrenching? How did you get into trucks? What's your background?
Well, my dad is and all my uncles, which are his brothers, they they work at a body shop, and they have worked in body shops ever since I can remember. And that's what they would do on the weekend. And, you know, back then we didn't have phones, you know, our moms didn't give us an iPad to get entertained. So we would just be in the garage with my dad or my uncles and just watch them, how they get so excited and like building their trucks and stuff. So my dad used to have a 1987 R10, and it was red as well. And he put me on his lap of the 87 C10, and we drove down a cul-de-sac, and he's like, take on the wheel. And I was like, I was about 8 years old, I think. And I took that wheel, and ever since then I said, I'm going to get a truck. Like, I'm going to be a truck girl. And my mom, she used to drive stick shift. She used to drive a 91 Honda Accord stick shift. And every morning she would drive us to school, and she would move that stick. I was like, oh my God, my mom looks so cool. So when I turned 16 or 17, that's when the RST came out. I was like, oh my God, it's a truck and it's stick shift. So it has a little bit of my mom and my dad. So I was like, I want that RST. And ever since then, when I had the chance, I bought it. And I have had that truck since I was 19 years old. And I'm 34 now, so it's been a long time. And the way I got into the wrenching is that I went to a shop. I will always remember. I went to a shop, and I had those turn signal mirrors. You know, how much are they? Like what, $50 or?
Mm-hmm.
And
so you were going to put them in. You were going to put them in your RST.
Yeah, I was going to put them in my RST. That was going to be like, that was the first thing I wanted to do to it, is the little turn signals on the side mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I went to a local shop in the city of Corona, California. And I asked them, hey, how much do you charge me to install these mirrors? And they said $500. And they kind of just looked at me and were like, kind of like, yeah, like, you know. I was like, what the hell? That's a lot to install some mirrors. I'm like, I'm going to try it by myself. And ever since, I was like, this is not bad. And I noticed that I liked it. I was like, I like doing this. And it was so easy. It was the black and red cable, and it was a clip-on the back. I was like, oh my gosh, you're going to charge me $400 to do this, or $500. And ever since, I just started doing everything on my own.
What a confidence builder, right? Because these guys are kind of, it's like they obviously didn't want the job, or they were just like, oh, this girl doesn't know, whatever, we'll just throw this out there. Yeah, it would be funny if you went back, but that was so long ago. And not only that, the same guys, or whoever was working there isn't there. But right. I think that it's cool that you just said, okay, hey, I'm going to do it myself. I learned. And then what would you say has been the biggest learning curve? Do you get a lot of your information, or back then, did you get on YouTube? Did you call dad? Did you call your uncles? Did you just say, I'm going to buy a book, I'm going to read, I'm going to figure it out? Do you feel like you're really mechanically inclined, or are you just like, hey, what I lack in mechanical inclinedness, I make up in hustle, hard work, and learning it and wanting to learn it for myself, so I don't have to get taken or pay $400 or $500 for something stupid? Right.
Yeah. Definitely. I read some books. It's always good to have a lot of different sources. But the first one I looked at was like the instructions. I learned a lot from instructions, and that's how I installed my supercharger. A lot of people are like, oh, how did you do that? And I was like, well, you just read the instructions, I think if you read the instructions, you could do pretty much anything. But then, I think there's a point where you read the instructions and then you're like, okay, what does this mean? That's when I'll call somebody, that does this every day, as a living. And then if I don't feel comfortable with the answer, I'll look in YouTube, or I also just ask around, and then I put the information together. Kind of like, you do research and then you just come up with your own theory.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. Do
That's
you
pretty
feel
much.
like when you look back over that time period to, buying your truck, 19, 20 years old, you're 34 now, you're obviously have a huge following on your social. Do you realize that you're a role model from in that perspective?
Yeah, sometimes I tell my sisters like pinch me a little bit, but I actually was really afraid of like social media when I first started. I was scared of what people would think, and like I was like, I don't know if they're gonna like a girl, working on her truck and driving stick shift. Like I told my sister, I was like, I've never seen that before. Like, how do I know they're gonna accept that? And I remember she was like, "Who cares? Just do it." And I'm like, "Okay." And I did, and when I go to shows and stuff, and little girls come to me and want to take pictures, I do feel like, oh, okay, I'm a role model for someone.
Well, and for you to say it the way you did, you're a role model not only as a female who is wrenching, you're driving a stick shift truck, you're driving this radical red, Frisco around, and then you have to kind of consider that in the world we live in now. One of my favorite quotes is "The Man in the Arena" by Theodore Roosevelt is you're the woman in the arena. So people will be out in the grandstands talking shit, and you're just like, you guys literally go do something else productive. Don't sit here and troll me and what I'm doing, because I like what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm learning as I
Yeah.
go, so on and so forth. So you've got a lot of facets there that you're role modeling in.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
I saw the other day you had your younger sister. I think I can't remember how old she was, but she was going to drive your truck. How about
Yeah.
mom? So mom was your role model driving the 91 a quarter round. Has
Yes.
mom ever ripped Frisco around?
She hasn't. And I actually asked her, I was like, Mom, drive my truck. That would be a cool video. I need to do that.
Yeah, you do.
So,
Especially because she's the one who started it for you. And to think like
she
there's your
did.
mom, banging gears, and she didn't probably know. She's probably like, well, this is what we could afford. I think my wife, when we first got married, she had a 92 Accord 4-door, and it was
Oh,
stick, and
yeah.
same thing, you don't know. And back then, geez, you're just like, whatever. And now it's cool that your mom was just, this was the family car, and you were sitting there
Right.
wide-eyed like, damn, look at my mom's a 3-pedal machine. She knows what she's doing. It's just cool.
Right.
This is meant to be.
Yes. Yeah. I definitely need to invite her to drive my truck. That would be really cool.
Sounds like you just need to tell her, listen, mom, you're going to drive the truck. You're my role model when it came to this stick. And I've always looked up to you from that perspective. So let's bang some gears and have some fun. She got over 400
Yes.
horsepower. Turn it loose. She'll probably be like, holy crap. Wouldn't that be funny if she just like completely
She just ripped it.
just rips it? That would be so awesome if your sisters could set you up that way and like get mom some like drifting and burnouts, and she's just like banging gears, and you're like, what in the hell, mom?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna just hype her up, be like, Mom, you could do this, come on.
So you kind of self-taught from the wrenching perspective. What would you say is your favorite part? What's your favorite part of, the build, the truck, the whatever you're doing with all your different vehicles? What is something that Claudia is like, oh, I love doing this?
I would say I love the stage where I'm putting everything back together and it's coming together. And while I'm doing that, having flashbacks of all, the sweat, tears, and cuts on your hands and late nights. I think that's my favorite part of the build is getting, like the motor back and ready to go, ready to install, and just taking form. Like my C10 right now it's in a million pieces. Not my favorite part, but I would say that's my favorite part of the build.
Yeah, it's kind of like the end of the movie, the end of the book. You're reading it, you go through all the things,
Right.
they build it up, and like you said, the journey and the struggle and the blood, the sweat, the tears, the emotion, the time, and you've leveraged it all to that completion. And it's you sit back and you're like, hey, I did this. Look at this. This is a work of art. Some people get it, some people don't, but it could be a masterpiece and a masterpiece to you, and you do it. And so it's just a labor of love, and that ending, that finish line of putting it all together is something special.
Yes, it is, definitely.
Cool. What's probably your least favorite part?
Gosh, my least favorite part, I have to say, and this happened not too long ago, looking for the tools that I need. It's just like, oh, this is not the right size, it's a 12, or this is the wrong socket. You have to go and get the right one. And that's my least favorite one. I feel like sometimes I spend so much time just looking for the right tool to do the job.
Is that your truck again?
Yes,
wow. Yeah. That's some great background noise. I hope the audience could. That was a good dyno.
That was a good one. That was a good pull. That was Frisco in the back in action.
Yeah. So it's funny you say that, because I'm the same way, and I try so hard to stay clean and organized. And if I could just take 10 to 15 minutes to clean up, put everything away, I would save myself. At this point in my life, as I approach 50, I probably cost myself over a month just waiting and looking for things that I can't find, because in my whole life, just like, it's like, put it away, and then you go into somebody's shop and everything is so clean and put away, and you're just like, you walk in. And for me as a firefighter, when we go into everybody's homes, right? So it's crazy when you go into somebody's house when it's really clean and everything's put away. The stress level, I tell my wife this all the time, the stress level is instantaneously, you notice, like, I'm not stressed right now. And then sometimes you'll go in somebody's house and there's just, you're just crawling over shit, just boxes and sometimes it is shit. It could be human shit, cat shit. And you're just like, oh my God. So to be clean, to be organized and have things together is it's such a time saver. And I wish I was better at that as well. It's so infuriating when you can't find the right tool, and then you do find it, or you come up with plan B, and then you stumble across it and you almost just laugh, because you're like, oh, well, I put it there. That's not where it goes.
Right. And I've done that. It's I take, like, when I do something in the garage, or I'm installing the heads or something on the motor, I put everything back where I was. So the next day or some days later, I come back, everything back to normal, because I do forget, who doesn't forget, like, oh, where did I put this at? So it really helps to just clean up after you do your task for the day.
Yeah, just spend a little time, and it's so funny how much that time will give back, because if we take the time on the front end. So okay, so you do it all. Right now you're working on your 87, your Blue Diamond. So she's calling that one Blue Diamond. You're doing it in your 2-car garage at your house.
Yes, I am.
And you've got, so right now you have your RST, you have your 87 R10 Ladybug, and then you have Blue Diamond, and then you also have a little car, I think.
Yeah, that's my 1963 Austin Hilly.
And that's kind of a
little car.
That's like a cute little mini car, right? It's pretty small.
Yeah, I really want to get into the metal fabrication. I really want to master that, because I have the patience, and I got that car for that reason. I wanted to practice my metal fabrication on that car, because it needs a lot.
That's cool. So is that like that's a goal for you, to attend some classes, become a master metal fabricator?
That is my ultimate goal. Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Would you like to do that as like a career, or as a hobby, still passionate in your own garage, not necessarily fabricating for others? Where's that line for you?
For metal fabrication, for me, is as a career. I want to eventually do it for other people, myself and other people. But before I do it to other people, I feel like I need to prove myself. And I need to do that, with my C10 and maybe Austin Hilly. I don't know about Austin Hilly because now we have, I have the C10.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that's my ultimate goal. Because, knowing metal fabrication, you could build anything.
Yeah, I think that it's cool you want to do that. I think you, like you said, you're 34, you've got plenty of time, and plenty of time for the long road. I'm not saying you have all kinds of free time, and then that becomes the balance, right? So you're working on you're working on this truck, you're working on that truck, and you got to find the time or the spare time, if you will. So that's cool though. What a goal. And I love that you're like, hey, I'm patient, so I know that this is something I'll be good at, and I feel passionate about it.
For sure.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about Ladybug. How you obviously, when you're sitting on dad's lap and you're driving, he says, take the wheel. He has an 87. There's something about the 87s that's got you, or is it just a coincidence that you have two 87s?
So you bought a C10 and it either had AC at one time or it wasn't even an option. Well, Vintage Air has the solution for you. Their SureFit kits are designed to place the evaporator and hoses behind the dash for a factory clean look. In most cases, the SureFit systems will be controlled by your stock dash controls using their exclusive cable converters. The Gen 4 kit provides infinite, just right temperature, air blending, and blower fan speed adjustments. The Vintage Air SureFit kits are the best value and the most completely engineered air conditioning system you can install in your C10. Add the fact that Vintage Air has been the most respected name in performance aftermarket climate control systems for 40 years. 40 years? Damn, son. The choice is obvious. VintageAir.com. When you're looking for classic Chevy or GMC truck parts, BrothersTrucks.com is your number one source for 1947 to 87 Chevy and GMC truck restoration parts. So whether you are restoring an original or looking to customize that classic truck, BrothersTrucks.com has thousands of the highest quality truck parts for you to choose from. So head over to BrothersTrucks.com and order your free catalog today. And don't forget to follow Brothers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates and special offers too. Hey guys, how about a happy 10-year anniversary to the team at Pro Performance? For 10 years, Travis and his team have provided their customers the best products on the market for our trucks. They sell Dakota Digital, Bear Brakes, Boyd Welding, QA1, Vintage Air, and more. They're your one-stop shop for all your truck part needs, stocking fast-moving items to help with production delays. So think Pro Performance when you are creating that parts list for your build. azproperformance.com. That's azproperformance.com.
He has an 87. There's something about the 87s that's got you, or is it just a coincidence that you have two 87s?
No, it's just I got a good deal on Ladybug, my red 1987, and it was red already, and Blue Diamond is gonna be blue. So I'm just like, it reminded me of my childhood. So I took the deal and I got that one. But what caught my attention is just, it's a blank canvas. Like anything you do to that a C10 now, it just looks good. I just see it as a blank canvas where it just needs an artist to express themselves.
Yeah, well, you have two red trucks, and
yeah,
I think that was kind of, again, comes back and you think about it. You got a good deal. Does having the Ladybug, does having that 87 and having that pretty much to where you're at now, does that motivate you more to finish the Blue Diamond? Does that inspire you? Because when you're driving one around and you're like, oh, I can do this to this truck, oh, I can do this to this truck, it's kind of like, do you do it to the red truck? Do you do it to the blue truck? It's like, well, I'm on full tilt with Blue Diamond, so I've got to do it to Blue Diamond, right? How do you balance that out?
Yeah, that's a good question. And yes, Ladybug really motivates me because I drive it. I'm just like, oh my gosh, Blue Diamond is going to have this and it's going to have it way better. Because, I'm not touching Ladybug. Ladybug is going to stay as is. When I drive it or people admire it, I'm like, man, Blue Diamond is going to be way better. It's going to have a bigger motor, fatter tires, a new chassis. So it definitely motivates me.
Do you think do you get to a point with the 3 trucks, or obviously 2 that are, driving right now?
Yeah,
Do you
2
get
are
to
running.
Yeah, 2 are running. Do you get to a point where you're like, which one do I take today? Am I giving enough love to, to Frisco? Am I
Yes.
giving enough love to Ladybug? It depends on the show I'm going to. How do you kind of pick and choose?
Right. No, yeah, definitely. The other day we went to Cars and Coffee in Newport Beach, and I'm like, who do I take? And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take the Ladybug because I just got her. So, and then for Texas coming up, LS Fest in Texas coming up this weekend, May 19 and 20. I will be there, and that one I'm going with Falcon tires, and that one I'm taking, of course, Frisco, my Cat Eye. So I kind of go like back and forth. I'm like, okay, Ladybug already got her chance. Now I go to, Frisco. His name is Frisco. We call him Frisco. Just go back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you said, it depends on where you're going and what you're doing. So it all depends.
Right. Yeah. And then I think in November there's like a Dino's get down. So it's like a lot of C10. So, I'll probably take Ladybug there, or maybe the RST. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I think I've heard of that show before. I think it's kind of a big deal. So I think you should I would say, oof, I don't know. That's a tough one on that. I would think bring your
Yeah.
C10, but yeah, I think your Cat Eye would get a lot of love too. Ironically, you're known for your Cat Eye, so
Yeah, so sometimes I do think about that. I'm like, okay, people, I think, want to see more of my Cat Eye than Ladybug. My 87 R10. So,
yeah, it's
I would
it's a
probably
great problem to have. I guess you just bring them both, park them, double it
right.
up. Yeah,
Yep.
bring that show is
Just
so
bring them
big. You
all.
could
Bring
bring
them
them
all.
both, and you could drive one day and park one the other day, and you could pick and choose. But yeah, it is funny because Cat Eyes are really, I mean, I would venture to say that the NBS, it's right there with the OBSs. I think they're so popular right now, and I think
Yeah.
they're they're coming up on that where, right, they're 20 years old, and you're thinking, God damn, I can't even believe my truck, because I have a '07 Classic, and I'm just like, I'm a few years away from 20, but it's like these trucks are getting close to 20 years old. Obviously in '03 is, you're looking at that and thinking, hey, this little LS truck that some guy's driving around, and yeah, it's getting close. So Cat Eyes they're on the rise for sure, and it's a great problem to have. I think because Ladybug's new to you, and it's something different that you're probably like, hey, I really enjoy driving this too.
Right.
Yeah, again, great problem to have. And then you're gonna add Blue Diamond into the mix. Look at you, and you're gonna be like, yeah. Ladybug might have to go down the road. I don't know. Maybe somebody will make you an offer that you can't refuse.
Yeah, maybe they will, and I would be willing to let go of Ladybug, or maybe I could do a giveaway. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, you'll have to do something.
Now I have Blue Diamond, and then I'll have 3 running trucks. I think there's gonna be a point where I'm like, let's take them all and just find a driver for each one or something.
Well, do you think you would sell your RST? Was that a truck that you would sell, or
No?
No.
No.
That one's staying.
I don't think yeah, that one's not going anywhere.
Okay. So let's jump into Blue Diamond. How were you looking for an 87? How did it come about? What were you looking for, or did it kind of fall in your lap?
I would say it fell on my lap. And I really don't sometimes care like what other people like want to see, but it was more my family, I would say. Mm-hmm. They're like, why are you building the Austin Hilly? That's not you. And you're a truck girl. And I said, well, because it's small, and I want to practice my metal fabrication, and I can do it in something small that doesn't have a lot of value, and I'm not gonna mess up. they're just like, no, you should get another truck or, a project truck. And I'm like, all right. And then, that one came across and I'm like, well, that's a good deal. So I took it on and then I got it and I'm like, all right, I'm going to build this off frame build. This is going to be my goal with the Blue Diamond is SEMA status build. Like, I don't know how long I'm going to take, hopefully not a long time, but I'm no cutting corners. Like, this is going to be legit. And my friend was like, hey, there's the motor. It's from the ZR1, the CL or ZR1 Camaro, the LSA.
Mm-hmm.
And, he's selling it for, so much. And I'm like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm on it, It's a good motor. I think I can make about 1,000 horsepower with the stuff I want to do to the motor. So it's going to have a nice motor, big motor. The goal is 1,000 horsepower. And the chassis is going to be a new chassis. I'm going to clean up the one I have right now, but eventually it's going to have a new chassis from some guys. I don't know their name. I can't remember, but they're in Alabama. And they build really nice chassis. So going to be doing that. And right now it's getting sandblasted. So everything's going to come off, all the paint, every square inch. And then I'm going to move on into the metal fabrication for the C10.
So you have a stock chassis, you're sandblasting all the metal, but you're going to be getting a new chassis from somebody in Alabama. I'm trying to think. I was racking my brain. I know people in Tennessee that do chassis, Texas that do chassis, North Carolina, and I don't know Alabama. So I'm trying to think.
I think
but
it's Alabama.
What kind of chassis are you looking at? Are you looking at obviously with a performance motor? You're looking at a like a coilover style.
Yes, like pro touring style. That's the look I'm going for with Blue Diamond. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What transmission?
Coilover. The transmission is gonna have the TR6060, the one that the LSA comes.
Okay.
With.
Yeah. So that is a Camaro setup. My son has the TR660 in his. That's a I mean, that can handle that horsepower, right?
Yeah, it's a 6-speed. I mean, I'll probably need. I'm not gonna say probably. I need to upgrade the clutch for sure, but it's gonna be a 6-speed. So I love my trucks to be manual. I don't know what it is. I think back from when I saw my mom, shifting gears. But another 6-shift truck.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I mean, what you're saying right now, I mean, so you're going to have coilover, probably are you going to kind of build it from that perspective of pro touring, have 17, 18-inch wheels and really set it up, give it a wide stance, track style?
Yes, for sure. 18-inch wheels. They're already, I actually already took pictures of everything that's going to go on the C10 and the sizes. So 18-inch wheels, 345 tires, or 335. I'm still debating, but definitely wide tires on all 4 corners. We're going to do all 4 corners and just work my way into the interior. Interior, I'm going to leave it until the last.
What about because you're so I'm thinking, okay, a track truck, so you're going to get into metal fabrication, you're kind of salivating to modify this truck. Are you thinking a little wide body on this, or when you think metal fabrication to Blue Diamond, what if you can, because sometimes when people are looking at doing certain mods and certain adjustments to a truck, they at times want to kind of keep that on the down low, especially something that might be unveiled at SEMA. You being an influencer and a lot of content, you probably might want to not do that, because I think the content is key for you. So what are you thinking? If you can tell us, what are you thinking? And if you can't, then we'll wait and see.
Yeah, I could tell you one thing that I would be able to share. So, the C10s have this stick-on badge that wraps around.
Yep.
You know
Your
which one
back
I'm
trim.
talking about?
Yeah. So your B
Yeah,
post.
that back trim.
Yep.
And I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I just, one of the things that I have in mind is to fabricate it in the truck. So like if it's part of the body, that's one thing that was like in the secret. Well, I have other things, but that's one I would share is that bottom piece, I would like it to be like, bead rolled and welded into the body as if it was from factory, like molded into that one piece.
Yeah. So kind of flush.
Kind of flush, but a little bit, not too much. But yeah, that's one of the fabrication details that's in the books for Blue Diamond.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I remember Sean at Empire Fab. He was building a Suburban, and it was a high-low trim truck, and he wanted to, I believe, do that to make the. It's almost like a Ford. Ford has what they call their dent side trucks, and they they have a dent in, and then the trim lays in the in that recessed part. So that would be really cool. So, and that would be a lot of work because you're right there on the B, and then the wraparound, and then you got the pinch of the window.
Right.
So yeah, there's going to be, but that'd be cool. That'd be also a fun thing to, like you said, I don't know when I'll get it done and what SEMA I'm going to, but I'm going to have fun and learn along the way.
Yes, that's my whole goal, is to enjoy the journey and learn along the way and share my journey. That's my ultimate goal, is to share my journey and hopefully inspire others to, do what they love.
Yeah. Yeah. So Blue Diamond is going to be kind of a little bit of a track truck, a little bit of pro touring. I like the stance. I can see it. And a lot of guys are doing some of the wide body stuff. And I think with your powertrain and everything, you've got a pretty good idea. Have you figured out what blue? Are you going to keep it kind of that stock color, or will you change up the blue?
I'm going to change up the blue. While I drive on the freeway, I'm looking at different blues, and, there's a lot of nice blues out there. But the other day I saw one from the BMW Alpina. I think it's Alpina. It's a very nice blue. So I think I'm going to go with that one.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still looking around, but definitely I'm going to change that blue. I wanted more like a jean blue, like a settled blue, but in a way for people to be like, oh my gosh, that's a nice blue.
Well, and on an 87, I mean, there's such a sexy truck and the lines. And when you, I agree, when I see, you kind of think back about, so I don't know, I would say 5-6 years ago, Toyota kind of started it with some of their pastel blues and tans. And then you see the Rivian, you see the Porsche, you see the BMWs, and even, I mean, so many different blues now. And really just so many different colors. Hell, even a newer white color, I'll see a truck and I'll be a new car, and I'm like, God damn, I don't even know if I've ever seen that white before. And you're like, it's just a white truck, but the way they do it and they blend it, it really pops,
Yeah, like my 1963 Austin Healey, I got that green from the Toyota, the van, the new van that came out. So they have like this new green color. And it's beautiful. I saw it when I was on the freeway and the sun hit it. I'm like, oh my God, that's a beautiful green. And I told my guy, I was like, hey, can you paint just the door green so I could have an idea how it looks? And it looks pretty amazing. And you have to also keep in mind the shape of the car. Like the square bodies, it's a brick. It's a square body. So not any color will look good on it. So you have to keep in mind that it's a classic truck.
Will you two-tone it, or will you leave it solid?
I think I'm going to leave it solid.
Okay.
Yeah, the plan is solid to make. Yeah.
And then you mentioned, so does your family, are they your go-to for paint and body? Background noise again.
Yep.
Another good pull.
That is Frisco. Yeah, that was a good pull. Hopefully that's the 500 horsepower on a 4.8.
Yeah. Yeah. So you said the first one, easily sidetracked on this. 412 was the first pull today.
Yeah, 412 was the first pull. So we'll see what this one is. My goal was 500. If it makes 490, I'll be happy.
All right.
But you know, there's still some stuff that I can do that I could maybe do 520, like a smaller pulley and maybe the throttle body and get more air in.
Yeah. Now it's funny when you get up there, right? You're getting over 400. You got to spend a lot more money for a little, like just small amounts, right? You're trying to just get all that, those little things. And that's what you'll probably find with Blue Diamond, because, you know, you get into weight, you get into balance, you get into power. And something that what was his name? Fast Finch, he builds race trucks, and he said, and this might change your mind on trying to get that 1,000 horsepower, but he said on a race truck like that, he goes, anything over 600 is too much because you can't control it. And so the brakes and so on and so forth don't balance with that much horsepower. And so yeah, he was kind of saying that 600 is the sweet spot. So maybe look at that when you're building Blue Diamond. If you're thinking you're going to, you know, get it out there on the track, it would be fun. It would be fun to see you because with your content and everything else, that you would have a good time out there, you know, doing the pro touring and tearing it up and having a really good time with the Blue Diamond Square, running wild.
Yeah. I'm excited to get that thing on the road. But that was my goal for the RST is 500 horsepower. Because like he's right, I think over 600 is a little bit too much. So with my RST, I like, you know, taking the corners and, you know, maybe doing some autocross. And I think 500 is good for me. And
yeah, I think your mom's already doing it. Your mom's doing it secretly right now. She's out there tearing it up. So she's ready for you to
let. Probably is.
She is. She's doing it in a Accord.
Right. I know. I need to do that. I need to.
Oh my God. I just love that your mom, I can just see it, right? You know, back in the day, she's just slapping the gears, man. And it's cool that she got you motivated and you're doing it. And now you're going to be doing the same thing in the Blue Diamond. The question that I had was, does your uncles, do they do all your body work? Who does all your paint and body?
Hey guys, I've got Joe Road, Classic Performance Products, CPP back. Joe, let's talk X10 spindles. Go.
Yeah, you know, CPP's one of our most popular parts through the years has been our 2.5-inch drop modular spindles. Really popular part. Well, we've kind of taken that to the next step. You know, we've emulated late model Corvette, Silverado, Chevy technology into our new X10 drop spindles. They use a steel hub, sealed bearing hub, really strong piece.
As you know, Joe, so many guys are building bigger trucks, bigger wheels, bigger brakes, everything bigger and better. Is this X10 something they should be considering?
Oh, absolutely. It's oversized bearings. Definitely great for a guy using big brakes, big wheels, which I'm sure all your guys are.
All right, guys, there you go. If you're looking to upgrade, you need a new spindle anyways, you're going to lower your truck, you're running a bigger wheel, a bigger brake. CPP's got it for you with their new X10 spindle. Joe, as always, thank you. CPP, classicperform.com. It's classicperform.com.
Since the 1960s, US Mags has held the title for the longest-running custom wheel tradition. Experience the wheels that made history and set the trends for American truck culture for decades to come. From cast wheels to full custom 1- and 2-piece forged wheels, US Mags keeps you and your truck in mind with every new design and model. Our cast wheel series are designed specifically for Chevy trucks and are stocked and ready to ship, giving you the wheels you need when you need them with perfect fitment. Set your ride apart with our custom forged wheels, available in just about any finish and fitment desired. US Mags are guaranteed to distinguish your style and attitude from the rest.
Hey guys, are you thinking about swapping out your old motor for a more reliable LSLT-based power plant? We've got great news for you. PSI Conversion is offering our listeners 10% off your order. Behind each PSI harness, you get over 10 years of experience in the business, online tech support, phone support, and harnesses made in the U.S. That's psiconversion.com. And don't forget, use code C10TALK and save 10% today. Marquet has been in business for over 40 years. It all started in the original owner's garage. From humble beginnings of a couple parts in a garage to a 2-building manufacturing facility making over 6,000 parts, Marquet has grown to be one of the country's premier truck parts manufacturers. They not only design the products, but also design the tooling to build the products, guaranteeing quality control. They have made their original parts from the original trucks. Aluminum strips are double polished, creating a mirror finish, and crystal clear anodized. They use the highest quality, hand-selected show quality wood that will hold up over time. Why? Because it's kiln dried to precision moisture levels specifically for Marquet. They stock oak, pine, and mini exotics, guaranteeing extremely fast delivery. All parts are manufactured in-house in Oklahoma City, USA. They offer quality parts built by Americans for old American-made trucks. So when you're looking for body moldings, bed strips, bed wood, and so much more, think Marquet. That's mar-k.com.
The question that I had was, does your uncles, do they do all your body work? Who does all your paint and body?
One of my friends, he does all my paint and body. He's in Hawaiian Gardens. But sometimes I do go with my uncles. It just depends, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool that you have that availability. And like you said, you could try out a few different blues. You could try out some different colors, and you'll see it. That one, it'll be in the sun. It'll pop, and you'll know. You'll be like, that's the color that I want for this truck.
Yes, for sure. And I think I'm gonna for Blue Diamond for sure. I'm gonna have my uncles touch that one when it comes to the body and paint. I already told them, like, hey, there's this Alpina blue from BMW. I think it will look really good on the square body. So they're like, all right, just try to get the VIN number or something. And I'm like, all right, we'll see. Because last time when I was trying to get a color from Porsche, and they were like, oh, we can't give you that one because it's custom. So I'm just like, dang it. And people are so secretive about that when it comes to, what's your paint? Where did you get that color from? It's like top secret.
Yeah, in that OEM world, they don't want anybody else. But I think with technology now, you could almost take a car in and somebody can scan it and be like, all right, I can break this down. I can't match it exactly, but I can get it,
exactly.
I can get it PDC pretty damn close.
Yep, exactly.
So with Blue Diamond, what has been your, how's that going? You got any struggles? Anything that's kicking your butt?
Not yet. Yeah, I don't think so. Not yet. I would say something simple. I would say the bolt from the cab. The cab has 4 bolts.
Yeah, you were separating it off the chassis or something?
Yes, when I was separating it out of the chassis, there's this 4th one, and it's on the rear passenger side. That one was really kicking my butt. It was just turning, it wouldn't come out. So I'm like, what's going on here?
Was it rusted? Was it just that you couldn't get a good, lock on the top and you were on the bottom, or what was the problem?
No, I think it was the cab moved. So it was kind of not twisting right. So since I had already taken out the other 3 and the cab moved. So I'm thinking that's what it was, but it eventually came out. I don't know how, but it came out.
Yeah, maybe it was binding or something, but those damn things are so long, and you almost you're like, okay, I got to lock one side and pull out the other. So it's at Sandblast. Is it back? And how was the body? Are you pleasantly surprised, or have you seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet. Right now, I haven't seen it yet. I'm excited to see it, but I don't think it has a good body, but you never know with sandblasting, something's going to pop up.
Yeah. Where did the truck come from? Was it a Cali truck?
It was a Cali truck.
Okay.
So I think it should be okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you should be good. So you said you're going to wait on the interior. Do you already kind of have a little bit of a vision on some of the, the seating? Obviously, you're probably thinking how race truck are you going to go? Are you going to go are you going to box the cab? Are you going to have some roll bars inside? Are you going to configure the seats to the roll bars? Are you going to, sometimes these guys will just make their whole dash different because they're making it, full race ready or track ready.
I haven't gotten that far yet, but I do want some race seats but at the same time, they look factory. Like the Recaros are really nice.
Mm-hmm.
They have some racing seats that also look elegant. When I think about the roll cage or something like that, I do think about the horsepower too. Like if it's gonna have 1,000 horsepower, maybe I want something in there that would keep me safe, and a 5-point, belt, a seat belt, or something. But I do have a vision of kind of how it's gonna look. I haven't gotten that far yet. Still looking around to get some inspiration.
I'm gonna send you a truck that it's called the Boogeyman. It's a square. It's a slope nose square. It's a race truck. It's pretty radical. Yeah, I'll get you. Preston and his dad Bob built it. It was at SEMA probably 4 years ago. I'll make. I know you've probably seen it, but I'll make sure we get you that one. That one's a pretty radical. And there's a lot of them out there now. A lot of guys building race trucks.
Yeah.
One thing about Blue Diamond that I wonder, from 1,000 horsepower, and you really need to cage that truck up. Is it, if I'm correct, if I remember seeing that did it have a sunroof, or does it have a sunroof?
Yeah, I had a sunroof, and I'm not a big fan of sunroofs in sport trucks, but that one did have a sunroof. And since the opening is already there, I'm going to team up with Carmen. She's from AM Hot Rod Glass, and I met her at SEMA. That's one of my favorite shows. So, and that is why it's one of my favorite shows, because you make, these new friends. So he makes custom glass.
Okay.
So that's another thing that's in the books for something you need for Blue Diamond, and it's to make the top like I'm pretty sure you've been inside a Tesla or the ZR1 Corvette, where they have like this glass top, but in the top it looks like it's black, but in the inside it would just be like a big window.
Yeah, that would look really cool. I just wonder how much flex you're going to have. So I think you're going to need to cage that thing, because you're going to cage. If you don't cage it, you're going to have a lot of flex, and you'll be calling your girl. You'll be like, I just popped the window again, or the glass again. Yeah, a lot of flex.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to say too much about it, because I don't know how it's going to work. You know how it is with projects. You plan something, but along the line you're like, oh, this is not going to work. Change of plans.
Yeah, but it's there, like you said, it's there. So you can call Claudia, the metal fabricator, and she can box that, get rid of that, or you can have that vision and have that cool Tesla full glass top that you can look up while you're pounding the pavement.
Yeah, and I want it to look like built in, like it's part of the truck. But when you get inside, it's like, oh shoot, it has a glass top.
You have a good vision. I like it. I like the color. Like you said, you're like, hey, one thing I want to do is have that, that cab band kind of recessed in. I've got this full glass top. So do you have a rendering? Have you done a rendering? I don't remember seeing one. Do you have like a full rendering done, or do you, sometimes people will have a rendering done and then they just kind of hold tight because, again, they don't want to show the world yet.
Right.
Don't be holding out on us, Claudia.
No, I won't. So I'm gonna do a rendering. I just haven't done it because I don't know, it's just me, but I changed my mind constantly, and I wouldn't want to be like, hey, can you change this? Oh wait, we changed this. But I should. I'm gonna get a rendering soon with the ideas that I just talked about today and see how it looks. And because sometimes you want to do this and that, but when you see it on paper, you're like, oh wait, this doesn't look right, or it would look better like this. Well,
and I think I have to see it. I'm that way too. Like I can visualize a lot of stuff, but then I'm like, okay, now that I get down to the nitty gritty, I really I'm a seer, and I like to see it first. But the cool thing about in today's world, and I still love that some guys do draw renderings, and once you finally decide, I kind of often heard that it's good to get 3 renderings minimum. So you get one once you're kind of done and you get that motivating pencil art. But beforehand, a lot of these people like Rendered Rides and so many other, they can do it all digitally. So when you're saying, hey, change this, or would you, I mean, they kind of know that there's going to be some changes, and then eventually they'll be like, "Nah, you got to pay me because you keep changing your damn mind." But it's better to pay a guy, X amount versus, a painter, and then you're like, I don't like that, So then you go back. So like you said with Blue Diamond, hey, I'm not cutting any corners. I want it to be right. I want it to be a badass Blue Diamond build, and I want to see it before I do it. And here's my vision.
Yep.
So yeah,
that's true. And it's like every project, being in construction, I've learned you have to have a design on paper first before you start building, and that is on my plans before I start, chopping up stuff. It needs to be on paper. It needs to be on a rendering.
Yeah, and it's motivating. So, well, we look forward to it. So you've got obviously Frisco's in the background, turning and burning. You're dynoing it today, 4.8. You're looking for 500. Ladybug.
Yes.
Ladybug was pretty much done, correct?
Yeah, Ladybug. It's done. I'm not doing anything to that one.
Okay, so that's easy. So that's pretty much easy money. You're done there. So after that, what would be your goal for Blue Diamond? SEMA 24, SEMA 25? How far out are we?
I would say SEMA 25.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And that is my goal. That is my C10 is to be at SEMA in one of the manufacturer's booth and show my what's in my mind.
Okay. Well, I like that you've got that kind of a realistic time frame, right? So you've got
it is
some time to get everything together and set yourself up. And did you already say you posted the wheels that you have already picked?
I have not. No, but they are going to be 18 inches.
So you don't know which ones you're going with?
Not yet. I'm looking at Forge Line. I'm looking some other brand, not very popular, but they are also forged wheels, and they have pretty nice designs. So we'll see.
Okay, cool. All right. Anything else? You got a lot else. What else is going on for the rest of the year for you?
Just make a lot of progress on Blue Diamond and start showing some action on it and hopefully get it to SEMA soon. I say 2025 because if I do it sooner, then I'll be happy.
Yeah. Well, like you said, I mean, you're doing your own thing on it, right? So you're able to take your time, learn the metal fab. You've got your family to help figure out the paint. And then, so with this chassis, what's the plan? It's coming in this year. It's been ordered. You've worked out a deal.
Yeah, that chassis is going to come next year.
Okay.
So in the beginning of next year. So I'm putting my timeline that this year we're already in May. So this year I need to get the body work done. And then pretty much next year would be like paint, mounted on the new chassis. And then meanwhile, the motor, the LSA will be also getting the forged pistons and the crank to make a little bit more horsepower.
Oh, it's going to be mean. Do you have a machine shop up there in Hesperia that you use, or who do you use for all your motor work?
Yeah, I use my friend Rod. We call him Rod. So I'm going to be using him, taking him the motor and have him build it.
Okay. Well, it's pretty easy, right? So you're pretty much Instagram. Where else can they find you besides at RST Girl on Instagram?
They can find me on YouTube. I do post my videos on YouTube, but they can find me on YouTube too, and at RST Girl.
Okay, awesome, Claudia. For the audience, it's easy. If you like awesome trucks and you like cool builds, she does a great job. She walks it through. She talks it through. She's got her Frisco, her Cat Eye. She's got new to her Ladybug. Was kind of Red Dragon for a while there, so she's conflicted. Ladybug it is, an 87 R10. That's another funny thing. The R10 and the V10s, Have you ever kind of heard why they call them an R10 versus a C10?
No, I would be very interested to know.
So an R10 is a C10. What happened in 87, I think it's just a confliction of the year there because they were wrapping up the production. It is kind of like almost like a leftover truck because I think they were going to have the 88s come out early and they were going to, have it be the C1500 and all that. So that's why in 87 people are like, "Oh, is it rare? It's an R10, not a C10." Well, when you say an R10 or a V10, which is the four-wheel drive, I think it's V10. I think that is, but R10 is a C10, and that's how you know that it's an 87 because that's one of those years where it's all. I believe they thought they were going to get those trucks done, and they didn't, and then they brought them out in 88. So the new OBSs, which is the CK 1500, the GMT 400, so that's how you'll kind of know like an R10 is an 87.
Yeah.
You're not going to get an R10 in 86, and you're not going to get an R10 really in 88. You're going to get an R10 in 87.
Huh, interesting. And
Yeah.
I thought it was something else. I thought it was because in 87 they changed
Fuel injection.
the motor.
Yeah, so that was because that was all getting ready for the new trucks. So they had that fuel injection ready to go, and they were getting ready for the new GMT 400. So just kind of like an LS, how they do that where they get the new motor. So that's what I've been told on the R10. There's probably more information out there, but at the end of the day, it was just because they were kind of at that point where they were trying to, I guess, almost possibly have both trucks available, just like they did for an 07 Classic. So I have an 07 Classic, which is because it says Classic, it's an 06 leftover is what I say. Because when in 06, when I bought my 07 Classic, I could have bought either an NBS or my Cat Eye, and I bought my Cat Eye, my Duramax. So, and I'm glad I did. Yeah. So sometimes they do that manufacturally. Now realize too that you have an 87 and that body style went to 91 in the Suburbans, the Blazers, and the crew cabs and the work trucks and stuff like that. That they had so many of those trucks and so many built, and they hadn't done the Suburbans, the Tahoes. They were still Blazers in 92, but until 92. So all the new OBS stuff and the rest of that series came out in 92.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's pretty funny to think that they continued to sell those trucks 88, 89, 90, and 91. So obviously the 4 years of square bodies being out there, Suburbans, Blazers, crew cabs, and they were still producing them, and they hadn't done that yet. They hadn't made it that far in the OBS world. So pretty cool. So they can check you out on YouTube. They can check you out on obviously IG, and just follow along with Blue Diamond. Support, tune in to everything that she has going on. She stripped some glass the other day. It was kind of fun watching you. You said you liked that part of it. It was, taking all your windshield and your back glass and your sunroof out and getting, I assume at that point, because you were getting ready for sandblasting.
Yep, that was demo time.
Okay, cool. Anything else while we got you on the phone?
No, thank you, Ronnie, for having me here. I can't wait to listen to your other podcast. And make sure you guys check me out at RST Girl.
It's that easy. If you want good content, fun times, check her out, give her a follow, and watch her build Blue Diamond and then cruise both Frisco. And you get to find out because we don't know yet what Frisco pulled. So tune in to her IG, and by the time this thing airs, you'll know.
That's right.
Awesome. Thank you, Claudia. Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Bye.
Go on. Get your ass out of here.